Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Patricia Krausman with the Kentucky Small Business Development Center Network, and along with the Bound Credit Union, we are so excited that we're able to be with you today and to share information and resources regarding veteran-owned small businesses. We want today to be a day of celebration and education for future and existing veteran-owned businesses. As part of National Veterans Week, we join the country in expressing our gratitude for your service and dedication. A heartfelt thank you to all our veterans for your sacrifice and the things that you do for us every day. As you know, veteran-owned small businesses are a crucial part of our country's economy. 99% of all all veteran businesses are small businesses. They employ more than 5 million people and account for annual payrolls of $195 billion. This is an annual event. We have in the past had a live event, which has been a celebration and a day that we could not only share information, but network with our other veteran business owners and allow you to do that. Of course, unfortunately, we're not able to do that today, but we have an event that I think is going to allow you to connect and hear more about veteran business owners in the area and how you can partner. The small business resource partners and community leaders continue to provide that support to veteran businesses. And so that's what today is all about. You know, it's been overwhelming, I think, at times as we've transitioned into the pandemic and of course out of that now, hopefully. And the effect and the impact to small business is unprecedented. Our goal is to ensure that you have resources and things that you need to not only survive the economic situation and the reality of where we are now, but to thrive. And so with that today, we have a wealth of information to help with that. You know, my thing with our program today is opportunity. My theme is around the fact that I believe that out of adversity comes opportunity. Opportunity, particularly for small businesses, to not only learn more about their business, but to look for ways and things that they can do different. And we have a growing and we are a rebounded economy. And so this is an opportunity to learn more about that as well. So opportunity, keep that in mind. I want you all to take an opportunity today to not only learn more about things that are available, but to take that opportunity to reach out and connect with business owners. So no matter where you are in your entrepreneurial journey, you're going to find information about transition assistance, entrepreneurship training, government contracting opportunities, disaster assistance, and access to capital. We're going to hear more about international trade and exporting and resources and business partners that can help you with those things. So with that, let me give you a quick overview of our program today, and then we will get started. So today we have some special guests, and they will join us in just a moment. And we always look forward to that. And so we will be joined by Congressman Guthrie and Brigadier General retired Jim Iacocca. With that, we're also going to talk about veteran business support programs. So I'll be sharing some things with you that will allow you to have those resources and tools that you need to not only start, but grow and thrive in business. We're going to have the Kentucky SBDC International Trade Team join us today. And exporting, there's a wealth of opportunity here in Kentucky and throughout our country, but we're going to have, I'm very excited to have them join us today so we can learn more about that. We'll have a segment on financing options, the financing options relative to being a small business, but particularly a veteran-owned business. And one of my favorite parts is we are going to hear from fellow veteran business owners, and we have local businesses that we are going to highlight, and they are going to share a little bit about their journey and the things that they've done. So with that, let's get started. And it is certainly my pleasure to introduce Ray Springsteen. Ray is the president and CEO of Abound Credit Union, and he spent his entire 30-year career in the credit union industry. He serves in many leadership roles, both throughout the community and within that industry. Currently, Ray is the chair of the Knox Regional Development Alliance and serves in leadership roles with the Kentucky Credit Union League and on subcommittees for both the Credit Union National Association and the Defense Credit Union Council. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce Ray Springsteen.
Thanks, Patricia. My name is Ray Springsteen, and I'm President CEO of Abound Credit Union. The commitment of military and veterans is what makes our community an incredible place to live and work. Veterans run important associations in our community, including KRDA and USA Cares. Veterans are also one of the first to volunteer, and they coach our kids. They run scouting programs. They also teach our kids. Plus, they start new businesses and are a big part of what makes this community such a vibrant place to live and work. In fact, this credit union was founded by 10 veterans 71 years ago in November 1950. 10 veterans, each with $100, pooled their money together to create a $1,000 credit union to be able to provide more opportunities and more possibilities for those in our community. And right from the beginning, their focus was around financial education. That included providing financial education programs in schools and then partnering with great organizations like the SBDC. And we're excited today to bring you the Veterans to Entrepreneurs program, including working with the SBDC and then partnering with incredible speakers. We're happy to have an incredible speaker in Congressman Brett Guthrie today. Congressman Guthrie is a graduate of the U.S. Military Academy, served in the 101st Airborne, and also ran a business in Bowling Green for many years. Congressman Guthrie has served our district in the House of Representatives since 2008, and is a great speaker for today to be able to talk about his experiences. So thanks again for attending the meeting today, and happy Veterans Day, and I'll turn it over to you, Congressman Guthrie.
My name is Congressman Brett Guthrie. I'm proud to represent the 2nd District of Kentucky, which is also home to active duty service members stationed at Fort Knox and thousands of great veterans like you. I'm also fortunate to represent so many great businesses and franchises in my district. Like you, after I left the military, I was looking to transition to business in Kentucky. I was stationed at Fort Campbell and had been serving as a field artillery officer in the 101st Airborne Division, Air Assault. I ended up working for my family's manufacturing business in Bowling Green. As I was making this transition from the Army to business, I wish there was a veteran to entrepreneur event available like this to share what resources and kinds of support are available to veterans. Thank you to those who put together this free educational workshop. And thank you to the veterans participating today. You and your family have made so many sacrifices to serve our great country. As I'm sure you had to overcome challenges in the military, you are also having to overcome challenges with your small business as our economy recovers from COVID-19. Some of you may have participated in the Paycheck Protection Program. I supported this program as a lifeline for small businesses to help keep the lights on and employees paid. In Congress, I'm fighting for pro-small business policies and veterans. This month, I voted for the Veteran Entrepreneurship Training Act. This bill codifies the Boots to Business program, the B2B program, which is an entrepreneurial education and training program the Small Business Administration offers. This provides important training to participants on how to develop a business plan, how to take advantage of SBA's resources, and much, much more. Active duty service members, people transitioning out of the military, veterans, and military spouses can participate in the Boots to Business program. You may be pleased to know that I've also voted for the Veterans Education, Transition, and Opportunity Prioritization Plan Act this Congress. This would create a Veterans Economic Opportunity and Transition Administration so that transition and employment programs can receive the resources needed to help veterans. On top of supporting bills for veterans and small businesses, I'm also pushing back against the Democrats' reconciliation package. This would increase taxes on small businesses. These policies are out of touch as small businesses are recovering from COVID-19, facing workforce shortages and increased costs from inflation and energy prices. I'm excited for you as you take on this next chapter in your career as small business owners. Veteran-owned small businesses like yours employ more than 3.9 million people. You're going from being the backbone of our national security to the backbone of our country's economy. I want to thank you very much.
Next up is Brigadier General Retired Jim Iacocca. Jim serves as the President CEO of the Knox Regional Development Alliance, or KRDA. KRDA's mission is to protect and promote Fort Knox and to create additional economic opportunities in our community. Today, Fort Knox injects over $2.5 billion into our regional economy annually. Jim Iacocca's career includes multiple stops at Fort Knox, including serving as the Adjutant General to U.S. Army Recruiting Command. During Jim's career, he's been deployed to Afghanistan and Iraq multiple times and also served in the 82nd Airborne. Jim has a great deal of care for our community and brings a lot of experience in connecting our community, businesses in our community, with Fort Knox Military Post. So I'm excited to welcome Jim Iacocca to the meeting today.
Good morning, and congratulations on taking the first step to setting yourself up for success, educating yourself on resources available, and meeting with like-minded people. I'm Jim Iacocca, and I retired after 29 years of active duty and wanted to share the opportunities I think the military provides that can help in transition to post-military success. My associate, Beth Avey, who started and operated a very successful business after leaving the Army, validated my comments as well. The military, and in my case the Army, provided opportunities to work with diverse teams, opportunities to communicate in multiple media to various audiences, opportunities to plan and execute simple to complex operations or events, and the opportunity to learn about sacrifice and serving something larger and more important than self. Let's briefly look at these in greater detail. The opportunity to work with and in a team really provides the foundation for future success. Add to that the opportunity we had to work in teams of very diverse people from all sorts of backgrounds. This diversity allowed you to be able to see things from multiple perspectives and appreciate other viewpoints, even if they only sharpened your own idea. While you may think as an individual business owner you are not on a team, I think that would be overly simplistic. Your suppliers, employees, and even customers can be seen as members of the team. And by meeting the individual expectations of each team member, your success can grow exponentially. Next are the opportunities you had to communicate to various audiences using various methods. And while this may have been influenced by how long you stayed in service and what you did, we all had to talk with small or large groups, send email, and write memos. And while this may seem pretty simple, you would be surprised how many people who did not serve did not have these opportunities. Now, the opportunity to plan and execute events or operations may be dependent about what you did in the service. But no matter what you did, at many points in your service, you had to make decisions in time, space, and distance to accomplish something, driving a vehicle, conducting range operations, parachute operations, or combat operations. And while this too may seem simple or second nature, it will set you apart as you start your own business or decide to work for someone else. And finally, and I think may be the most important one, and one without much comparison outside of military service, is the opportunity to realize that you are but a small, while integral part of a larger purpose to accomplish a mission. This attribute allows you to look at situations more objectively without a whole bunch of emotional baggage, and you will tend to do what is right for the larger purpose or the greatest number of people, and you will be less motivated purely by self. And just a few more random thoughts. You learned hard work and the ability to work long hours under difficult conditions. You know how to be decisive, and you can make decisions with less than perfect data. And you know how to conduct an after-action review, or the ability to look objectively at what happened and what you can do better. I hope this has all made some sense to you. You do not have to agree with everything or anything I said, but if it gets you thinking, then it was worthwhile. If there's anything that we can do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can reach Beth at beth@growknox.org, and you can reach me at jim@growknox.org. Good luck to you, and thank you for your service.
Well, thank you for that. Certainly, thank you, Ray, for your support for small business and also for that wonderful introduction for our two special guests. Congressman Guthrie and Jim Iacocca are champions for small business in our community, and we are fortunate to have their not only support but their leadership as we move forward into the next opportunities that we have as small business owners. So next on our agenda is I will be sharing some information with you about small business resources and places that you can go for help and assistance. And that's really our ultimate goal, is to ensure that you have those resources and things that you need to be successful. You know, in Kentucky, we say this often: small business is big business. And one of the things that you will see is that we also are very veteran-owned business friendly and have a higher than national rate of Kentucky veteran-owned businesses. One of the key things that we see and that has been quite interesting is that throughout the pandemic and as we emerge from that adversity, is that our businesses and our small businesses grew, including the number of veteran-owned businesses. So one of the things that I want you to keep in mind is that 99.3% of all Kentucky businesses are small, and small by federal government standards is 500 employees or less. But small means a great deal to us here in Kentucky and in our communities as well. Veteran entrepreneurs, and that's one of the reasons that we are providing this program today, is to not only celebrate veterans and entrepreneurship, but to also recognize that there's a wealth of opportunity in this area. Veteran entrepreneurs are more likely to own a business than non-veterans. They're also more likely to hire veterans as their employees as well. They tend to outperform non-veteran entrepreneurs, and there's a wide diversity, not only in age and race and ethnicity, but relative to their disability and those experiences and how that translates to successful business. Entrepreneurial activity varies by age, gender, race, ethnicity, and length of service. And I've had the opportunity to be able, the honor really, to be able to work a great deal with veteran entrepreneurs, and particularly in the Fort Knox community as people transition out of the military. And all of these things are certainly true here in our area, but for veterans as well. What are some of those traits of high-performing entrepreneurs? And good decision-making in chaotic environments is a big part of that. You know, I think that's where you have those skills that you have learned throughout your service and military career that will translate very nicely and serve you well in small business. And so confidence in your abilities and that independence and being self-sufficient, but also understanding, I think the biggest is contingency planning, understanding how to adapt and to look at a situation and make rational decisions, strategic decisions. And that's a part of entrepreneurship as well. I'd like to share just a little bit with you about the Kentucky Small Business Development Center. The SBDC has been in Kentucky for over 40 years. And so we are quite a fixture here. And also it shows not only our longevity, but our commitment to small businesses and the things that we do every day. We are an innovative partnership. We have funding and support from the U.S. Small Business Administration as part of their Management and Technical Assistance Program. But we also have support from Kentucky institutions of higher education, local business partners, economic development partners, communities, All of those things come together in that partnership to provide small business support. We have offices statewide serving all 120 counties, and we're a nationally accredited business development program, which is a way that we not only are vetted, that we are meeting the needs of our communities, but to also allow us to adhere to standards and to show our excellence in this industry, and we're very proud of that. We provide lots of services, and here are a few that are listed. Our services are provided by business coaches, and our business coaches work individually in a no-fee, confidential environment to ensure that our small businesses and our potential entrepreneurs have the things that they need. And so I know with many organizations, I can say, well, we do this, this, or this. But I think the real strength of the SBDC is that we talk with you individually to find out what your particular needs are and ensure that we meet you where you are. So if you are a business that's just starting or you're in the feasibility stage, we have a comprehensive toolkit of tools and things that we can offer. Our programs and services are varied and very extensive. So we can take that and determine something that's customized for you. That may involve conducting market research, connections to other small business resources. That is a big part of what we do every day. Just to show you a little bit more about some of the things that we do is that we work not only in pre-venture and feasibility to ensure that people have made good decisions, but business planning, financial planning, revolving around budgeting or projections or financial options to help you with those things that you need to be able to get funding if that is your goal or your need. We work in the marketing arena. Business continuation has been a big part of our service throughout this certainly particularly trying time. And so that is something that we can not only talk to you about where you are now, but help you with a growth plan to determine to get to the next level. And then if there is there a need for exit strategies, then we can work with you as well with exit planning. That's just a short list of some of the things that we do and how we can support you every day and all throughout the life of your business. I left in my slides regarding COVID-19 because I know that we are transitioning out of that and moving back into a very vibrant economic situation. But still, we need to revisit some of those things and ensure that our small businesses have the resources and things that they need to be successful. And so we can work with you to develop your plan, your individualized plan for moving forward, whether that's navigating supply chain issues. In this environment for all businesses, labor demand and labor availability is an issue. And so working with you to create your strategy so that you can ensure that you not only survive, but thrive. And that can be as involved as taking your existing information, analyzing your cash flow needs, looking at where you are today and where you want to be tomorrow. If there are concerns, we'll help you address that as well. Out of that, we have some tools and resources. So you can visit us online at KentuckySBDC.com/coronavirus, and that will provide you with some links that will you can access these particular tools. And so if you're looking, you need a checklist to ensure that you're managing effectively. If it's still a particularly difficult time for you, we can help you with that. And particularly that guide to reopen your business. So those things are still available. One of the programs that I want to share with you today is we do not have an SBA representative, but I have some information from the SBA or for you about the SBA so that you have a good sense of what's available for you. The SBA's primary mission is to help Americans start, build, and grow businesses. And as a management and technical assistance program with the SBA, we're there with them every day to ensure that happens. And so really four key areas. They are a program that allows you to have access to capital, and you're going to hear more about that a little bit later today. Entrepreneur development with management technical assistance throughout the country, and particularly here in Kentucky. They are heavily involved in government contracting and exporting, and have programs that are specifically designed in those areas. And then as the small business advocate, their role is to ensure that they are not only aware of the environment and the things that are happening within small business, but they're an advocate for growth and development, and ensure that small business is inclusive and that it is relevant. And they certainly are a big part of that. There are some specific services related to veteran business development. And with that, they have a distinct and separate office, the Office of Veterans Business Development, that oversees their commitment and support to veteran small business. And out of that office, you will find that they have several, in partnership with entrepreneurial programs, that they have direct support to small business. One of those things is federal government contracting support. There are set-asides for service disabled veteran-owned small business. And with that, there's contracting guidance and things that they can support you in if that's something you're interested in as contracting. Their entrepreneurial support services not only include the small business development centers, but the Service Corps of Retired Executives, Women Business Centers, and then the Veteran Business Outreach Centers, which are a key factor as we for our veteran businesses. The SBA has had several programs. Many of you that are in business may have accessed the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, EIDL loan, and the PPP loans that were a part of the CARES Act. And although some of those programs are no longer available, you still have access to certain pieces of that. And so the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program is still available. If you have been impacted further through the Delta variant, the most recent challenges, then that may be an opportunity, or you may want to revisit where you are and whether you need those services. So SBA, and you can find all of these resources and information at their website, does have those funds available as well. Their standard 7A loan program is their most utilized program, and that is where they provide loan guarantees in partnership with banks to allow you as a small business owner to have access to capital. Oftentimes, that may be that there is added security needed, or you're a new business and you don't have all of the things that you need to be successful. And so a bank can choose on your behalf to apply to the SBA, the federal government, for a guarantee of that business loan. The 504 lending program is one that is designed for long life equipment and land and building, long-term fixed assets. And so, again, I think you'll hear a little bit more about that when we have our financing options presentation today. But 504 is certainly something that you may want to, or you and your lender may want to consider. Micro lending is a program that allows people that otherwise cannot get or need some support in getting financing for reasons relative to maybe that you're a new business. It may be that you have had some credit challenges, or that you need to improve your credit score. And so these are loans that are available to support that as well. We have micro lenders throughout Kentucky, and you can find those resources on the Kentucky District SBA website. We're going to hear more about the Export Express and Export Working Capital a little later, but those are certainly very viable products that are available to small business. And I want to note the Veterans Advantage Loan Program. 73% of all SBA veterans loans are $350,000 and below. So as you can see, these loans are available and not only utilized, but they are for all levels of small business. One of the key things is they reduce upfront fees to zero for all veterans loans that are authorized under the Express program up to that $350,000 mark. And then there's also military reservist economic impact disaster loans, and those are relative to companies and businesses that are impacted by deployment. And by that, that sense of having employees and supporting our military reserve, and to ensure that they have those jobs and that you are supported as you allow them to do their job for us. One of the programs that SBA supports and that I want to particularly note is the Boots to Business program. Boots to Business is a 2-day transition assistance program, and it's a self-employment training workshop. It's a 2-day overview and really a way for you as a transitioning veteran or someone who is either in the military service or has retired, along with military families, to learn more about entrepreneurship and to find out what's available to you. It is a collaboration between the SBA, Syracuse Institute for Veteran and Military Affairs, the Department of Defense, and Veteran Affairs. And so those are very dynamic programs, and we have been further supported recently, as Congressman Guthrie mentioned. And so the Boots to Business program is one that you, if you're not familiar with that or haven't accessed that you will want to do that as well. It's open to veterans, spouses, and family members, as I said, and it's offered here in Kentucky at Fort Knox and Fort Campbell. Here locally at Fort Knox, you can register at SFL TAP. Their phone number is listed below, but you can also go to the Boots to Business website and register and connect with them also. I've had the opportunity to work with that program since its inception here at Fort Knox, and it is an excellent way to not only learn about entrepreneurship, but to allow you to determine those things that can help you as you transition and move into your next career. Another program that the SBA provides is the Veteran Business Outreach Center program. And I highlighted this particular program because we're fortunate to have that available here in our area. Reggie Ordonez is the director of the program that's actually located in Nashville, but covers both Tennessee and Kentucky. And they provide services such as business training, counseling, mentoring, and we work very closely with them to ensure that you have not only access to their program, but that you have the hands-on work that we do at the SBDC to ensure that you're getting all of the support that you need. And it is for business, current business owners or people that are considering starting a small business as well. You can connect with Reggie through the pathwaylending.organization site, and you see that link there. I failed to note, and I just realized, as you will be getting the presentation today, you will be getting a copy of this in the next couple of days. So you will have access to all of this information ongoing, as well as we'll send out some resource information for the speakers and for the slides. And so you will have that moving forward. I want to talk a little bit about some of our Kentucky small business resources as well through state government and other organizations. One of the things that we see is that oftentimes as people start a business, as entrepreneurship begins, or people begin that journey, is they are not uncertain about where to go to not only get support, but how to register and learn more about what's needed in the process. And so the Kentucky state government has created a Business One Stop, and it's a portal to allow you to have those resources and information and to be able to register and continue interacting with the government regarding your business through a one portal. And so in the past, there were lots of different places to go. And so this really is an opportunity to hopefully provide a sense of being able to connect and to ensure that you're business is interconnected with all of the things that are important for your business. And so you will register with the state government and on the one-stop portal. And then at that point, you will then continue to work with that portal to not only file the things that you need for your taxes, or if you're a retail business and you need your sales tax number. If you're an LLC or you want to be an LLC, you'll register through that portal. So everything will be cohesive. The other part that I think is of note is that you can also designate others to help you with your business through that portal. So perhaps your advisors or CPA or others within your company have that access as well. So this is something that's been an important change in Kentucky. We also have the Cabinet for Economic Development, and the Cabinet for Economic Development is a program that we have partnered with over the years and understand not only the strength of economic development in Kentucky, but how we as small business providers are a big part of that. The Office of Entrepreneurship is a department that's within the Cabinet for Economic Development, and they have several programs that are available to support small business. They provide programs relative to access to capital, expanding markets, business advocacy, and innovation. I wanted to highlight a few of those things today, just so that you are aware of the types of things that they offer. First of all, is the Small Business Credit Initiative, or Tax Credit, that offers between $3,500 and $25,000 per year for small businesses that have hired at least have one new job. They've sustained that job in the last year, and purchased at least $5,000 in qualifying equipment or technology. And this is a tax credit on the year that the purchase was made. And you can learn more about that through the Office of Entrepreneurship website. But we do encourage you to take advantage of that, because it is an opportunity for you to have a distinct advantage related to the things that you're purchasing as a small business. The Kentucky Small Business Credit Initiative enables lenders to finance creditworthy small business requests, and sometimes those fall just outside normal underwriting standards. And I've actually worked with several businesses that have used this. This will be a program that you would discuss with your lender, and they would make that call as to whether that was a good fit for you. But it is available, and it can be a very valuable tool when you're looking to grow your business. And KEDVA small business loans are another part of the Office of Entrepreneurship in the Cabinet for Economic Development. And they allow businesses that are in manufacturing, agriculture, agribusinesses, or service and technology to purchase or update equipment so that they can remain competitive in today's market. I think this is overlooked sometimes with our smaller businesses, to recognize that that's available to you as well. And so that's certainly something that you want to consider. And as I've talked throughout this, your SBDC coach can help you with that and help you determine what programs are available and what is a good fit for you as well. A program that we are fortunate to have here in Kentucky is the Kentucky Procurement and Technical Assistance Center, PTAC. They provide free procurement assistance via counseling. They have resources and training on their website, connections to help small businesses that sell products and services to government agencies. That can be federal government agencies, it may be state, local certifications, all of those things, and information that you need regarding selling your products or service to the government. One of the questions we get oftentimes is where to go for certifications, or how does that process work? And so the Kentucky Procurement Technical Assistance Center can help with that. And they not only connect with those training partners, but have information to ensure that you are meeting the requirements and the guidelines that you need for those contracting programs. They offer disadvantaged business enterprise programs, women-owned small business. And when I say offer, they provide that support for those programs, as well as service disabled veteran-owned small businesses. And as I mentioned earlier, there are set-asides with the federal government for service disabled veteran-owned small businesses. And so they can support you in ensuring that you have access to those things that are needed to be able to take advantage of those opportunities, as well as Hub Zone and 8A programs. And we know that you may be available for many of these certifications, not just as a veteran business owner, but also if you live in a Hub Zone or you are an economically disadvantaged small business. So with that, I have very quickly run through programs and services that are available to small business. So one of the things I want to note is that an upside, I feel, of our things that we've experienced in the last couple of years is all of our support programs, and particularly the SBDC, have created online direct connection for not only training, but for access to services. And I know we at the KSBDC work very closely now with individuals through a variety of mediums. And so we still will meet with individuals in person, but we also offer direct connection through video conferencing and email consulting and phone consultations. And particularly our training programs have elevated because of the need and our response to COVID-19. And so if you're not a part of our, if you've not experienced our training programs, we have a Wednesday webinar series where we focus and highlight particular management programs and information and education about a variety of issues that are important to small business. Those are online, and there you will, again, just like today, have access to those videos after you have participated. And as well, on our website, KSBDC.org, we are we have those available for you can access those at any time at your leisure. And so that is certainly a big part of what we do as well. We also offer programs like today throughout our communities, whether that's virtually or in person, to support small business. So please take the opportunity, if you haven't, to go to our website. I see that I have one listing here, but our website, as you'll see throughout the slides, was ksbdc.org, and you can access us different ways. This particular piece, if you will find that there are locations, and you can determine through our locations tab which program is best for you, or call our 800 number, and we'll help you with that. So with that, that's a very quick overview of small business resources that are available. Next, I have the pleasure of introducing the KSBDC International Trade team to you. This is something that our state director, Christina Joyce, has implemented in the SBDC, and it's allowed us to not only improve the way we treat or the way we address certain issues, but it's allowed us to leverage our expertise within our footprint, within our business coach network, to ensure that we have direct support to certain areas. And one of those is international trade. I mentioned opportunity at the top of the program, and that's really exporting and international trade is grown exponentially here in Kentucky. And one of those things that we see is that is a great opportunity for businesses to not only expand their marketplace, but to perhaps address some of the things that are happening within that economic environment. So with that, our next video, our next presentation, is the Kentucky SBDC International Trade Team discussing that topic.
Hello and welcome to today's webinar, where we are providing an overview of the Kentucky Small Business Development Center's exporting services. My name is Devaney King, and I'm a business coach with the Lexington Center, and I also serve on the international trade team alongside my colleagues in Eastern, Western, and Northern Kentucky. And our goal from today's webinar is that we want to provide you with a couple takeaways. One, we want to highlight our services, as well as the other export-focused organizations across the Commonwealth. We also want to provide you with tools and resources that will help strengthen or optimize your existing global reach. And finally, we want to cover why your business should consider exporting as a viable business strategy. So let's get to it. Why should we consider exporting? And as we take a look at the numbers from a global perspective, as the global population increases, so would our prospective clients. So currently, we are at 7.7 billion people across the planet. And projections illustrate by 2030, that's going to look like 8.6 billion, by 2050, 9.7 billion, and so on, according to the United Nations. And if there's one statistic we would love for you to walk away with today, it is this: 95% of the world's customers live outside the United States. So if you only have a domestic strategy, you're missing out on great potential for your sales model across the borders. And Kentucky is taking a lot of advantage of the export opportunities that do exist. In 2020 alone, $24.7 billion worth of goods were exported to foreign markets. And those leading industries include the transportation equipment and chemical, but not limited to just those two, because as we know, Kentucky is well known for livestock and the world famous bourbon distilleries, and these generate millions of dollars in profits and thousands of jobs. And according to statistics in Kentucky, international trade supports 500,000 jobs. And in 2019, they reported that 4,688 companies exported goods from Kentucky, 79% of which were small or medium-sized enterprises. So if you're thinking to yourself, this isn't for my company, we're too small, or that's for the larger corporations. Well, the proof is right here that people are doing it and taking advantage of the existing opportunities. And I'll have to be honest, exporting is hard work. It's a commitment of management, of commitment of resources, and time has to be invested to make sure that the approach is taken correctly. And the question is, though, is exporting worth all the effort? And we say yes, and here's why. It's going to help you diversify your customer base. And not only that, it's going to expand your business and optimally grow your bottom line. 17% of companies that export are more profitable than those who do not. And that's thanks to help smoothing out your business cycles. If there's seasonal differences, if you're exporting to different hemispheres and taking advantage of those seasonal differences. And you can also help use production capabilities fully and optimally. It can help increase your competitive advantages across all markets. And not only that, but it's going to help increase the value of your intellectual property should you choose to license it. And lastly here, it'll increase the value of your business should you choose to sell it. And here at the Kentucky Small Business Development Center, our international trade mission is that we want to support small businesses across Kentucky looking to start or scale their exporting strategies by providing trade certified export education, resources, and coaching to the small businesses we serve. And you might ask yourself, well, I want to know if my product or service is exportable, and that's where we can help. Some of the services that we provide at the Kentucky Small Business Development Center is an export readiness assessment. So if you come in wondering if your product or service is exportable, we can help you with that. And after that, we would walk you then through the export business plan. We have great digital software that I'll cover later on in this presentation that we use to help support clients. We also offer trade financing support export documentation and licensing education, market research to help you select which market you want to approach in a strategic manner, and also mode entry selection education, in addition to a very important topic here, recent e-commerce and website internationalization, making sure that your digital platforms are preferable across borders. And lastly, we want to connect you with other export assistant organizations that exist amongst the Commonwealth, as well as federal resources. And at the KSBDC, we're just going to highlight a couple of resources and tools that we utilize to help our small businesses. And Trade Passport is a great tool that I will highlight later in how you can actualize that website. As mentioned, we help with export readiness assessments. And if there are areas of your business that might need a little extra work before you do consider exporting, we'll help you strategize that as well. We have an export business plan software that I'll get to here in a moment that takes it a step up from maybe your existing business plan as we make it a more tailored approach to exporting. And we also offer documentation templates. There's a lot of documentation that can be required going into exporting. And so we will provide templates that will help you understand the lay of the land that way. And lastly, but not limited to, we also help with financial forecasting. So if you were applying for a small business loan that will help exporting, or other grant opportunities, or if you just want to see if this is a profitable endeavor for you, we'll help you with that. So as mentioned, Trade Passport is a fantastic online resource that a lot of small businesses are taking advantage of. And I say that because they offer 20 free training video credits on their website. And these on-demand training videos consist of a magnitude of so many different levels of exporting. And that could be finding distributors overseas. That could be understanding Incoterms, your market entry strategy, trade finance, regulatory compliance, amongst other topics. This is your one-stop hub for a lot of education that you could do yourself as the business owner. And as mentioned, we also help with business plan support with your export strategy. We utilize a cloud-based system called LivePlan that provides a tailored version for those that are looking to export, and will include a lot of resource links and tutorials that'll help you educate yourself along this process so that you can turn around and then do that to the teams that you're working with as a part of your export strategy. And we know the importance of a business plan. It's going to help you understand the facts, constraints, and the goals around your international efforts, implement schedules, and understand those specific action steps that need to be taken during the process. And our plan will help you outline all of that. So our export and trade assistance community is massive here in the state of Kentucky. And what we want to do is we want to help connect you with these other resources and organizations with a similar mission of supporting small businesses that want to export. And in the next coming slides, we'll highlight just a couple of these organizations. But as you can see, there's translation services, freight forwarders, international banking, we have ag services, international legal resources, amongst others that want to see you win as you're selling across the borders. And we also wanted to highlight the Small Business Administration's Export Resources. On their website, they have trade tools for international sales. And I just want to take time here today to encourage everyone to check out SBA's export website, where they're going to include a list and a link to all these tools mentioned right here on this presentation. And next, you see most notably is the State Trade Expansion Program, often referred to as STEP or the STEP grant. And in Kentucky, that's administered through the Kentucky Export Initiative. And I'll get to that here on the next slide. But what the STEP grant does is it provides 100% reimbursement to eligible small businesses for allowable international export development activities. And a lot of companies have taken advantage of the STEP grant. It's fantastic. As mentioned, you can't beat 100% reimbursement for those allowable expenditures. And we often see a lot of exporters actualize on that grant that can. And lastly here, there's the financing programs for an exporter. And that would be the Export Express loan, Export Working Capital Loan, and the International Trade Loan. All three vehicles have different features and different functionalities that would support the small business financing needs and options. So I encourage you to feel free to check out, once again, SBA's website and see which one fits your small business strategically. As mentioned, I wanted to cover KEI, and that's the Kentucky Export Initiative. It is a partnership of government entities, business organizations, and trade experts with a common goal: to help small and mid-sized companies export more. As mentioned about the STEP grant that KEI administers, they've helped over 200 companies in the state of Kentucky actualize upon the STEP grant. And we would love to help and support you to be one of those companies today or in the future. And I wanted to highlight one of those organizations that are a part of KEI in particular, and that is the U.S. Commercial Service Office. It's part of the U.S. Department of Commerce's International Trade Administration, and they offer solutions for every stage of the export process. They have different posts across the world, so they have global reach, but they also have offices in the States that have more boots on the ground for whatever needs you have. They offer country commercial guides, which I'll highlight here in one moment. They also have a free trade agreement help center to help you understand the tariffs involved in the countries in which you want to export to. They also help with industry research. We oftentimes will co-coach with U.S. Commercial Service offices and really hone in on that market entry strategy that you have, and also adding in distributors, agents, partnerships, or other opportunities and options that you want to have overseas that you would get from actualizing the services with the U.S. Commercial Service Office. And as mentioned, they offer country commercial guides, which are free resources, and they are online on their website. They offer country level risk and opportunity overviews. So if you're going into, let's say, a country that you're not as familiar with, you're going to understand the lay of the land a little bit more before you even step foot into the country, or even start the negotiations or have discussions with your purchasers across the borders. It's going to help you understand the local business environment. It's going to also discuss tariffs, and also illustrate any red flags or regulations that you need to be made aware of as you begin to enter or export to that market. And if the tools, resources, or services mentioned on today's webinar intrigue you, or it's something that you want to take advantage of, please feel free to reach out to us for international trade assistance. And you can do that at the toll-free number below. That is 1-833-567-9800. Or feel free to reach out to myself, and we will get you assigned to a coach or a resource that will help you start or strategically scale your exporting operations. I appreciate your time today, and we look forward to serving you and your small business and your exporting strategic operations.
Well, thank you, Devaney, for that. We certainly have enjoyed the opportunity to learn more about international trade, and I know it's a lot. It's one of those things that we will want to just introduce you to the resources and things that are available so that we can provide that support. So please give us a call. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce a video as a part of our Kentucky Pacesetter Award 2021, an awardee, a nominee, I'm sorry. He was nominated and awarded a Kentucky Pacesetter. The Kentucky Pacesetter Award is the Kentucky Small Businesses Awards program that recognizes high-performing traditional and startup businesses that produce innovative products, increase sales, create jobs, and serve our communities. They're selected based upon their intent and their capacity to not only show delivery of their original business plan and exceed or meet those goals, that they understand their market and that they have the mechanisms to move forward. their response to adversity and their strong leadership and management are a part of that vetting process to make those decisions. So we are very pleased to say that we have one of those award winners here in our community. Water's Edge Winery has been a part of our landscape and actually started during the pandemic. And so we congratulate them on not only being able to traverse the challenges that with the pandemic, but also to be able to continue and grow and start their business. I know many of you have been to that business in downtown Elizabethtown, and they are certainly a success story and something we're very proud of. So with that, let's hear the video outlining the Kentucky 2021 Pacesetter Award winner, Water's Edge Winery.
I'm Charlie Watkins, and I'm a retired military from Fort Knox, and also retired EMS from Hardin County EMS. And I have a family, a wife and 2 daughters. And the reason why I started Water's Edge Winery and Bistro is to assist my daughter because when she graduated college, she had a hard time locating employment. This is a franchise. We had a Zoom meeting with my 2 daughters, and I loved the way it was going. I loved tasting wine before I purchased it. So this was a great fit for us as a family. And also I knew it was a great fit for the community. And so that's how that all got started. And we started the conversation around about February of 2019. Well, the ways I've exceeded my expectation is learning about the business, because truthfully, I knew nothing about running a business. And so I try to position people to assist me and give me the knowledge to be successful in this business. One thing you learn in the military, you never give up until the last breath in you. And that's my mentality when I came into this. And that's one thing people were asking me, are you going to open because of the pandemic? I said, I have no choice. The ball is rolling. And so we're going to move forward. And one thing I did learn in the military is you got to be flexible. You got to adapt and overcome. And I think that was like the early part of April that when I first met Patricia, and we have kept in contact, and she has been tremendous in assisting me and with her knowledge and her working knowledge within the community and around Kentucky. And so that she has been great in assisting the company and myself and my family of continue to move forward. Once I get all the kinks out of this facility, then we're gonna start that construction down and get everything going in Bowling Green. I have 2 daughters. Tiana, the one that works here, that runs everything while I'm at my main job. And my oldest daughter, which lives in Atlanta, she'll come down for a week or 2 and help out and assisting and doing everything, helping Tiana make the wine and bottle the wine. And the wife, she's a wine lover. So basically she's our taster. If you go on our website at wineryetown.com, you can order our wine offline, and we able to sell wine and able to ship it through a Vino shipper system. Do your research. One thing I've learned is I did a lot of research, and with the help of Patricia, talking to her, picking her brains on knowledge, things that she know and people that she connected me with. Do your research, and I didn't realize how so much work to go into running your own business.
Oh, well, thank you, Charlie. Isn't that a wonderful story? You know, I feel that's so inspirational for all of us, because he not only is a veteran-owned business, but he's a family-owned business as well. And his motivation and commitment, it revolves around family. And I think we should all recognize the importance of how Charlie has approached this business and things he's been able to accomplish. And so congratulations, Charlie. And for those of you that are interested, our Pacesetter Awards presentation is next week on November 18th. And we want to not only celebrate these Pacesetter winners, but to also celebrate the fact that we have now been able to not only survive, but thrive throughout this difficult time. And Charlie's a great example of that. Next, I have the distinct pleasure of introducing Grant Simpson, and Grant is the Director of Commercial Lending at Abound Credit Union. Grant has a 26-year career with the Army and the Air National Guard. He's been in banking for over 25 years, in commercial lending, etc., working with your community bank in Louisville and Citizens Union Bank in Louisville, as well as Abound Credit Union. Grant received his undergraduate degree from Murray State University and his MBA in finance from Baker College. We will hear from Grant next, and then following that, we have another series montage of local business owners, and we'll hear from them once we've completed Grant's presentation. So without further ado, we have Grant Simpson with Abound Credit Union.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Grant Simpson. I'm the Director of Commercial Lending here at Abound Credit Union. I am excited to talk to you guys about your transition from your military career to your civilian life and career. It can seem difficult and maybe daunting at times, and I totally understand that. Just to kind of give you some background on me, I've been in between active duty and the Guard 26 years and about 26 and a half years, Army for about 8 of that, and then I switched to the Air Force. I like having a hotel room and having remote control. So don't roll your eyes and groan too much, all you Army people out there. So we're going to kind of dive into this just to go over some of the possibilities that are out there if you're considering entrepreneurship after life in the military. We'll go through some different options, kind of talk through a few possibilities, and then at the end, it'll be my contact information, and you feel free to shoot me an email, give me a phone call. If you want, we'll meet, and we can figure out how to help you from there. First one, kind of just the topics we're going to go over. We've kind of done the welcome and introduction. We're going to go through some of the different types of businesses. What's the Small Business Administration, or SBA? What do they do? What programs are available for you guys? Where do you start? What does my lender, meaning us, the credit union and or bank, need? The main one, how much is this going to cost me and how long does it take? Give you some examples, and then try to give you some resources that we can help you with. For example, this is probably the most common loan request that we get. This is a residential rental property, 1 to 4 family or 1 to 4 unit properties. This can be anything from a single family home that people are buying and renovating and renting out. It could be for even flipping, which is not really on here. It could be for a duplex. So if you want to buy a duplex and maybe live in one and rent out the other, and or rent out both, or even small 4-plex apartments, patio homes, that type of thing. Kind of go through some of the caveats here just to kind of give you a very brief idea on how these can be structured. For example, bullet point number 1 says that if you decide to put this in your personal name, so my name's Grant Simpson, if I decided to buy this duplex and put it in my personal name, depending on how many I have, I could possibly put this in our residential mortgage side. Why would I want to do that versus the commercial lending side? The residential mortgage side historically can go up to 30 years and the rate is locked for 30 years. You're going to get a little better rate on the mortgage side if it's in your personal name. If it's in a business name, meaning if it went into Grant Simpson Incorporated, then you're going to deal with us on the commercial side. We deal with business entities and or certain, maybe a sole proprietorship, which we'll get into later. If you're not relying on the income from the property, so for example, let's say you are buying a duplex, but you have retirement income from the military, maybe you've taken a job with another company, Raytheon Consulting, and you have W-2 income from that, we might not need to rely on the rental income from the property because your retirement and your paycheck will satisfy the loan obligations. If you are relying on the income from the property to repay the loan, then we're going to want a few more details provided to the credit union. One of them might be some copies of some leases the rental agreements, that type of information. Historically, we like a 2-year history minimum just to show that it's been able to pay back the loan that you're looking for. The other type of loan that we look at is what we call a commercial real estate loan. So this could be for other properties, such as a building that maybe has tenants. It could be a warehouse. It could be, we have some that are kind of a mixed use warehouse and a tenant, maybe like a landscaping company that has their offices on one side and stores all their equipment on the other. Again, if you're relying on the income from the property, meaning the tenants, to repay the loan to the credit union, then again, we're going to want 2 years worth of leases and or rental agreements or financials showing that that rental income has the ability to repay the loan to the credit union. One of the things you'll want to consider when buying rental property and renovating it and renting it is look at all the tertiary expenses that most people don't think about. Most people think about their loan payment. Well, floors go bad, air conditioners break, roofs leak. Those are some of the working capital needs that you'll need to make sure that you budget for to make sure you have a good product that tenants want to rent. If you decided that you want to start your own business, a lot of people have great ideas or have seen the existing idea and can improve on it and turn that into an actual business. There's mechanisms to do that. The first thing that you really want to do is kind of plan as much as you can on what you want to do. For example, let's say you want to make the best widget that's ever been made because the others are not that great. One of the things that we recommend is that you work with this SBDC at the bottom called the Small Business Development Center. They will help you look at your product or your idea, write a business plan, play devil's advocate, kind of shoot holes in it and or improvement techniques, and do budgetary pro formas and outlines that will help you obtain financing from a credit union or a bank. Here are some more loan options. Real estate secured loans, which we talked about. Undeveloped land and developed land. So some of the undeveloped land might be some lots that you want to buy to develop houses on later versus developed land, which has maybe electric and sewage already run to it, just not a property on it. Construction loans. You want to build, you have a business and you want to build a building for it. We will help you with that. What we call C&I or commercial and industrial loans. These include facility plus things like furniture, fixtures, and equipment. So you decided to open up a rehab center, and you're going to need beds and lamps and tables and chairs and all that to help outfit it. That would be considered furniture, fixtures, and equipment. We can help with loans like that. Equipment loans, you want to start a landscaping business like we talked about earlier. You're going to need trucks. You're going to have trailers. You're going to have riding lawnmowers, that type of thing. We can help with that if it makes sense. Asset-based loans are basically large lines of credit, not large, but any line of credit secured by a receivable. So you do work for me, you give me a bill, and I have $30 to pay. Well, sometimes you're going to need cash in the interim before all the people that owe you money pay. An asset-based loan allows that to happen. It's for the funding of the timing difference between billing and the collection of that bill. And then in some circumstances, we do unsecured loans. One of the things that we'll talk about briefly here is the Small Business Administration. I know someone's either going to talk to you more about this in detail or already has. So we'll kind of go through this at a 30,000-foot view, but just to kind of give you a general idea. Credit unions and banks work hand in hand with the Small Business Administration throughout the United States to help and help small businesses grow and to help in any way we can. As you can see, the SBA was founded in 1953. The SBA is not a lender. The credit unions and the banks are the lender. They actually will help us make a loan that maybe we would not have normally made because they actually guarantee us we will get some of our money back if something happens. As it says, it's kind of like an insurance policy, and it helps us make loans, mitigate risk. What you're not seeing on here is the whole point of lending in a credit union or a bank is risk mitigation. We know that we're taking risk. We understand that. We want to take educated risk. And the decisions and the underwriting and the SBA guarantees help us mitigate that. So it allows us to help customers that maybe we normally would not. What does it provide? Sometimes you can put as little down as 10% versus 20%. for non-SBA loans. They do offer at times longer repayment options. So for example, on some commercial loans, we might give you a 7-year to 10-year repayment. The SBA might be able to give you a 20, 25-year. Just depends on the product, the program. So what are the key programs available to some of the veterans? The SBA Veterans Advantage Program. There are no guarantee fees that I know of at this time. Again, I'm not the SBA rep, but they usually cut veterans a very nice deal or concession on a lot of things. SBA may update or change program features, kind of like the military. Fiscal years is over September 30th. We start again 1 October. The SBA changes constantly. If you've kind of been in the news or watching the news the last couple of years in this crazy pandemic, the SBA kind of spearheaded the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP loan. The SBA was not the lender. The banks and credit unions were the caveats or the method in which you applied for them. We submitted them to the SBA, they were approved, and then the bank or credit union funded the business. Kind of just some brief, again, highlights on the SBA Veterans Advantage Program. Some of the loans can go up to about $350,000 express, or up to about $5 million. That's called the 7A loan. That's usually for larger loans. It gives us, lender, the bank or credit union, a 50% guarantee. Remember, like the insurance policy, or maybe up to 75%, depending on the entity and the way it's approved and underwritten on some deals as well. On a line of credit, like we talked about for working capital, you might be able to get up to a 7-year term. Again, these are not necessarily, this is exactly what you'll get all the time. Each deal is unique. It's individual. It has to be underwritten. There's strengths, there's weaknesses, there's mitigants for every single deal. So some of these things that we're going over here will apply. Some of these might not. It just depends on your deal. Interest rates are set by us, meaning the lender, the bank, or the credit union. It just depends on what rates and, again, how much risk. The riskier that the credit union or bank feels it's going to be, the loan, the higher the rate they're going to charge. It's a risk-reward theory. You'll see at the bottom, loans over $50,000. It's usually prime plus 4.5. Prime right now is 4.25. So you're talking about 8.7, 8.75. So where do I begin? This is the number one. As you're transitioning out of your service to us and the country, which we appreciate. Sometimes it's you don't know what you don't know. So what kind of business are you looking at doing? Is it a startup? Is it an ongoing business? For example, are you buying a business where maybe the current owners want to retire? They want to sell. They're moving. Is it a franchise? Do you want to buy a Jimmy John's, a Subway, Zaxby's, something like that? Are you buying real estate? Again, what kind of real estate? Is it a vacant lot? Is it land that's already been developed? Is it a house you're going to rent? Or is it a warehouse that you want to put Amazon into? Or like we said earlier, is it already existing or are you starting it from scratch? One of the things like I talked about earlier is that SBDC, Sierra Bravo Delta Charlie, Small Business Development Center, it's free. They will help you prepare a business plan. They will help you gather all your financials. They will help you bring contracts, proposals, or agreements and help you do with your financial projections. Also, a lot of these are retired executives from prior entities that will be able to give you business insight and their experience that you would not be able to get anywhere else. So, for example, I've met with some customers of mine where the customer said, I think this is a great idea. And the former executive at a large company said, hey, I get where you're coming from. Sounds like a great idea on paper. It looks like a great idea on paper. Here's what you need to think about. And by the time we looked at it, we're like, hey, that's probably not the avenue that you want to go. And then what I always recommend to everyone is the person that's going to keep you out of trouble with the IRS or anyone is a CPA and attorney. I would highly suggest that you find a CPA or an attorney that you're comfortable with, do some research on them. They will help you create your business entity structure, the documents needed, and kind of guide you through the world of the IRS and the legal structure of the state of Kentucky, if you stay here and or the United States and where you go. Again, I cannot stress enough to find you a good accountant and a good attorney that will help simplify things for you. So what do we need? We're going to ask for business plans and projections. We want to see why you think your idea is a great idea. And if you've thought it all the way through, did you think about things such as postage? Did you think about other variable costs? we will need 3 years personal and business tax returns, especially if it's an existing business that you're buying. So we will want 3 years of income from you and you or your partners, and on the business maybe that you're buying. Sometimes the businesses are comfortable giving you their tax returns if you're trying to buy it. Sometimes they really don't want to. They want to give it directly to the bank or credit union, and that's fine. We can bridge that gap to help you out. We will require a document called a personal financial statement. It's kind of just a financial snapshot of where you are at that time. How much money do you have in the bank? How much do you owe on your home? Do you have a home? Do you have investments, et cetera, et cetera? We're going to look at a credit report. No difference than if you went to K Jewelers and bought a diamond for your wife. We're going to look at the credit report just to make sure there's not anything on there that would prohibit us from lending. Depending on how you go, for example, if you go to the residential mortgage side, which we talked about in the very beginning, if the loan is more likely just in your personal name, they're going to want copies of your bank statements. On the commercial sides, we might not. Again, it just depends as we dive into the deal, underwrite it, and look. If we have some questions and things, we might ask for more information. Whatever you're going to buy, we're going to want a copy of that contract. We're going to want a copy of those rental agreements. We're going to be kind of a second set of eyes to help you. You're going to see the transaction, the deal that you want. We're going to ask for it. We're going to double check everything that you think you looked at just to make sure we're on the same page and it's a good decision for everyone. There is an application that we have here at Bound Credit Union. It's about a 14-page. Don't let that scare you because it combines the personal financial statement and a lot of the things that you would have to provide individually all into one format. You kind of fill it out. If you're dealing with the SBA or Small Business Administration, as you'll learn, there's more forms that you'll have to fill out with them, and they'll help you with that. We'll kind of act as an intermediary with your help. Real estate, again, purchase contract. If you're going to do improvements, tell us what they are. Make sure you get estimates and cost. We will have to order an appraisal or a verification and valuation of the property, which we call VeriVal. It just depends on the dollar amounts. Environmental. Now, this is one that most people don't know about. If you're deciding to buy 4 big old towers locations, say a couple $1 million, we're probably going to want an environmental survey done or environmental search. Reason being, there's been a lot of oil, lubricants, everything around the property that could have seeped into the ground. So we're going to check it, and it helps you out as well. The last thing you want to do is buy something like that and 3 years down the road find out that you've been seeping oil into the water for 10 years and everybody comes after you and your company. We don't want to deal with that. You don't want to deal with that. So we do an environmental on certain deals up front to make sure that's taken care of. Title search, all that means is if you're buying a house or a warehouse or a property, we're going to hire an attorney and they're going to look at who legally owned that property going back sometimes up to 60 years and make sure that it's free and clear. So the previous liens that were on it have been paid off, paperwork's been done, and just to make sure that when you buy it, you're the number one owner of the property and the bank or credit union is secured in the number one position. That's all that means. Again, what do we need more? If you're buying a vehicle, it's common sense. We need a copy of that purchase order. So if you're down at, Swope Ford, Knox Ford, and you're buying a truck for your business, then we'll want a copy of that invoice that you all have been negotiating back and forth over with make, model, serial number, etc. It's construction. So let's say you're building a warehouse. You've already got some people that want to rent it out. We're going to want the construction cost and plans and specifications. If you have blueprints, we want those. And a copy of the contract if you're buying land. If you're buying a business that's already existing, which means an asset purchase agreement. Again, whoever's selling it, we want their tax returns because they're probably telling you, hey, I make X amount of money a month. Well, we want to make sure they're making X amount of money a month. And projections from you. So, hey, once I take it over, this is what I think I'm going to do. There'll be more documentation. It kind of rolls in with the other stuff. But those are just a couple that set it apart if you're buying an ongoing business. If you're buying a franchise, there's a franchise agreement that basically says, I, Grant Simpson, am agreeing to get into a franchise with Jimmy John. As such, I will continue to pay them X amount of dollars up front, X amount of dollars per month, buy my supplies only from them, et cetera, et cetera. We'll need to look at that. It's kind of like a startup. We'll have to go through and look at all the conditions and budgeting and forecast for that as well. Okay, so what are some of the costs in doing loans with a bank or a credit union? These are some of what we call the backside costs. just to kind of give you a ballpark. Commercial real estate appraisals can average anywhere between 3,500 to 55,000 on the higher end. If you're doing a small warehouse or building, it might be 1,750 to 2,500. Commercial appraisals are more expensive than residential appraisals. You'll find that unfortunately, like in any business, things are different costs in different sections. Commercial is a little bit higher, just because the technicality of the work is a little bit more. Environmental reports can be anywhere between, like it says here, about $1,000 to $3,000. That's where, again, if you're buying the big old tire stores, we want to look at the soil. We'll send a company out, they'll sample, they'll do all this stuff and make sure that you're not buying something that's contaminated and bad for you. If we need a survey of the property, probably about $750. We need an Alta survey, which is a big one for commercial products. That could be higher. Title search and policy depends on the loan amount and location. Every county is a little bit different, and we're going to buy title insurance on there. So they could be anywhere, let's just ballpark. On a $500,000 deal, it could be $1,000 to $1,500. Some of the SBA programs have other fees, origination fees, SBDC fee if you're going through the 504, 7A. But that will all be disclosed prior to you closing or doing anything with the SBA. How long does it take? Well, once you kind of get all that stuff together, and we've had a conversation or two, we're going to collect all the stuff that we're going to gather or grab all the stuff that you've collected, and we're going to start underwriting the loan. We're going to look at the credit history. We're going to look at the cash flow. We're going to look at the projected cash flow. We're going to look at the debt service coverage ratio, which means basically, if you borrow X amount of money, your income is Y, can you repay us? We're going to look at, what did you do before? You know, if you were if you were a tank driver and you decided you want to get into the bakery business, that's fine. Maybe you baked at home all the time. We just want to kind of know why you're getting into it and what your experience and training with that is. Down payment, like I said, some programs will require as much as 20%. Some can do as little as 10%. We're going to look, say, hey, where are you getting your money from? Just like you would on a mortgage application. The personal credit history, like I said, that's no different than anything else. We're going to pull a credit report. We're going to look at it. Average turn time for underwriting means once I get everything, it usually takes us about 2 to 3 weeks at the most to start, underwrite it, do all our analysis on it, and come back with you to an approval. Once the approval is completed, then that's when we order the fun stuff. We start to order the appraisal, the title policies, all that. We will not order that without your permission and without telling you that you are approved. You will actually receive a document that says, congratulations, you've been approved up to X. And in order to do that, we need to order all these other things at an estimated cost of whatever. You'll sign it, we sign it. That way everybody's kind of on the same page. It's totally transparent, it's black and white. There's no questions, and then we'll start. Title search and appraisals, about 2 to 3 weeks. As you guys know, the market's been going crazy with houses. Everybody's buying, everybody's refinancing. So what used to take 2 weeks is taking sometimes 3 to 4. If we go the SBA route, it can take a little bit longer because the government's involved. So we would approve it. It gets sent out to an SBA. I think it's in Sacramento, Santa Monica, California. They're going to look at the package. You're going to say, yeah, we agree with you. It's approved. And we go from there. As you'll see on the last slide, this is my name, Grant Simpson. I'm the Director of Commercial Lending here at Abound Credit Union. Anything that you have, I sincerely mean this. Feel free to give us a call, shoot me an email. Feel free to stop by at any time. And I want to again say thank you for everything that you've done for our country. Thank you for everything that you've done for us individually. And we wish you nothing but the best in your journey going forward. Thank you.
Entrepreneurship came to me from different opportunities. And what I've learned is that the skill set I gained as a strategist in the Army prepared me exceedingly well for life as an entrepreneur and business person. And the skills of planning, analyzing complex problems, and organizing work across different functions absolutely applies to the business world. It's a different context, and there are different discrete skills such as accounting and human resources that we don't necessarily have in the military. But those are things you learn over time. The ability to approach a complex problem, the ability to create teams, the ability to lead, the ability to organize work across different functions. Those are all things I learned in the Army.
Well, I think every military member is whether they know it or not, is trained to be an entrepreneur, because the military teaches you to be a problem solver. They teach you to be dynamic and be able to change. They teach you patience, the hurry up and wait. So all of those things are needed to run a business, because any given day as a small business owner, I'm doing marketing, I'm doing operations, we make all of our products. So whether it's financial stuff of doing taxes this morning like I did. So as a service member, flexibility and being able to adapt quickly is what we learned in the military. So to transition that mindset into being a business owner is what it takes. So I would say grit, determination, and flexibility are the things I learned in the military that really helped me be a business owner today.
In the Army, and I'm sure every other branch has values, but in the Army we have loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. The only three that I took away from it is loyalty, respect, and selfless service. Loyalty is definitely one of the top qualities that you have to carry over to your business, because if you're not loyal to yourself or your customers, at the end of the day, the business is going nowhere. And I don't know what you guys are trying to cater to or have people bring awareness for people, whether it's clothing or a service like mine or food, but you have to be loyal to your customers so they're loyal in return.
Well, thank you to all our speakers. And next, we are at the end of our program. And so I certainly want to thank you all for your time today. I know that we've run over just a few minutes. And so what a wealth of information. Thank you to all our speakers, and certainly to Abound Credit Union for your work with me and on this program. And it's really a distinct honor to be able to do that as well. So with that, I want to mention a couple of things, and then we'll move into the last part of our program, which is a closing remarks by Holly Sexton. She's with the in public relations and a financial education professional with Abound Credit Union, and Jake Darbus is the Chief Finance and Administrative Officer, and we'll hear from them in just a moment. But I do want to remind you that you'll receive a copy of the webinar today. We will be sending out a survey, and you'll have information so that you can contact all our speakers. So with that, thank you again. What an information-packed day, and we look forward to next year. So Holly and Jake, I'll turn it over to you.
Hello, I'm Holly Sexton, PR and financial education professional with Abound Credit Union. Thank you so much for joining us today. I would also like to extend a very special thank you to Congressman Guthrie and Jim Iacocca for being part of our program again this year. Here at Abound, we are passionate about financial education. And while we spend a lot of time educating our youth about financial matters, we believe that financial education transcends the generations. Providing information to our veterans to assist in their entrepreneurial endeavors is a natural fit for our mission. A special thank you also goes out to the Small Business Development Center. Your partnership is so valuable, and we love working with you each year. And with a few last parting words is Jake Darbus, Abound Credit Union's Chief Financial and Administration Officer.
Thank you, Holly. I want to extend my deepest gratitude to all of you for attending this year's Veterans to Entrepreneur event. While we couldn't share the afternoon together in person, we hope you're still able to walk away with resources that will improve your business or empower you to start a business of your own. Abound is dedicated to supporting our veteran community. We've invested $1.5 million in military and community health with Baptist Health Hardin, and we continue to partner with a number of important organizations, including the Association of the United States Army, Knox Regional Development Alliance, Wreaths Across America, and USA Cares, among many, many others. Thank you again for attending today, and thank you for your service. We are so grateful for all of the men and women who have fought and served for our country. On behalf of Abound Credit Union, I hope you and your families have a happy and safe Veterans Day.